Wait just a second. Is my voice available right now? Yes, it is. Hi. It wasn't muted. The audio device wasn't selected, but hi. Anyways, now I think you guys can hear me. Hey guys, welcome back to another deadline stream. Finally, we're doing this after a long time. Yes, and we'll straight get into the questions. In the last 30 minutes, kept it short for a reason. I think there aren't a lot of questions this game week. Hopefully, let's see. Ronaldo hold definitely. I think Ronaldo could prove out to be a better captaincy than Bruno somewhat, personally on a gut feeling level. But yeah, Bowen over Coutinho 100%. I saw a question of Rafinha or Coutinho. I think this week it has to be Rafinha. Everton are really poor, so you should go for the Rafinha option. Whereas Coutinho you can get in next week as well. I think next week Coutinho is completely fine. How to fit in Salah if I have Rafinha, Bowen, Jota, Foden, and Madison? You'll have to remove Foden or Madison to fit in Salah, and that is the way to go about it. Thanks, Vatsal. Antonio to Edward, Broha, or Weghorst, or roll the transfer. If you are buying someone, either Broha, which is in form, or Weghorst, I think he has two doubles coming up, so makes the most sense to buy him. Edward again has probably lost his place to rotation, so probably not go down that route. He might start this week as far as the rumors, but it's again a 50-50 chance, so you don't want to do that. Will DC start or should I replace him with Rodrigo? I think he starts. He would have come off the bench last weekend as well, but I think the injuries and the 3 substitutions were used by Everton because of that. So I think he starts this one. Downgrade Son or Kane to free funds for Salah. I think you can fit in Son plus Salah in your team or Kane plus Salah in your team. So you maybe want to downgrade someone else. I think downgrading one of your forwards is the way to go about it. Will DCL start? Yes, I've answered that. Get in Salah or stick with Bernardo. I think you can get in Salah this week if you can. Definitely over Bernardo in my opinion. Is Gordon a good differential? I don't think he's a great differential. His place could be in doubt with DCL back, so maybe not. Is Bruno potential triple captain this week if I free hit next week? I don't think you want to triple captain Bruno. United are not very convincing in attack. He could score, he could haul, but there isn't a guarantee of him getting minimum points. I think a double game week, West Ham have a decent double game week. Even Bowen would be a better triple captain, to be honest. So I wouldn't go down the Bruno triple captain way. Parth and send in a Steam wildcard free hit, or do I do transfers? If transfers, what are suggestions? I think you have to figure it out according to your chip strategy. I can't randomly just suggest something. I can pick a decent transfer for you, and this week the team seems fine. So if you don't like in this team, I don't see a necessity of a transfer. So you probably want to just save. Parth, my recommendation would be save and make transfers according to the chip strategy. Don't randomly start making transfers. Maris for Gallagher, I wouldn't do it this week. I don't know if you want to buy City assets this week. There will be rotation. I am pretty sure there will be rotation this week. Start Ramsey or King. I would start in Ramsey this week with this form. Get Bruno and save the transfer, or get in Bruno, Salah and Broha for a hit, and which includes claiming. I would just get Bruno, save it till then, get Salah next week, and probably try to keep Kane next week as well. Sterling to Mahrez and Kilman to Cucurella. I think Kilman to Cucurella is a nice move. It's slightly sideways because I would want Wolves as an asset next weekend. I think Wolves has a higher chance of a clean sheet this week and next week combined than Brighton. That is maybe you can hold. Sterling to Mahrez is a move that you can make. I think Sterling also has an equal chance of starting. So it's not necessary. You can make it if you want to. I don't think it's necessary. Kevin De Bruyne to Fernandes, great to Coutinho, or for 2 free transfers. I would do it. I would definitely do it. Pogba / Ronaldo captain, also Walker, Reguilon to start. I would start Reguilon. I think he has an attacking potential and a clean sheet chance, and I would go Ronaldo captaincy. Everyone in the City team this week is a rotation list. I have no doubt about it. I wouldn't be surprised if all of these people were, all of these guys of Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo, everyone starts and gets subbed out at 60. Pep does like to give them game time to keep them in the flow and form they are. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. If Foden is the only one who's benched, or maybe they come on at after the 60-minute mark as well, but I definitely know that they'll get reduced minutes this week. There won't be any team leaks for United. Apparently they have stopped. A lot of sources saying that it's very tough to get team news this week, so there's some problem with that. Also, there's some light in my background, so that's also bothering me. Great to Rafinha or to go for Saka next week. Have no bench to play Sissoko. I think I would go Saka next week. Sell KDB for Son this week. I wouldn't. Only for Bruno or Salah I would sell. Next week probably you can. Coutinho, Ramsey, better choice. Coutinho 100% is the better choice. He's more attacking and he's the one you want to get in. But again, Ramsey is the one who's budget in option. So if you have that price bracket, you want to go there. Foster, Cash, Ramsey, Dallo, bench worth bench boost next week, and triple captain Salah. That's a tough call to take, to be honest. It has a decent bench, no double game week players, which is apart from Foster, which is a problem to me. I would really want to have double game week players on the bench if you can for bench boost. Should I play Rafinha or Foden this week? I think you should play both if possible. I would slightly be more inclined to play Rafinha for two reasons. Norwich slightly defensively better than Everton, and Foden could be a rotation risk and he could come on for a one pointer. Whereas Rafinha, you know he's starting for sure. I'm more inclined to play Rafinha. I have Laporte, Cancelo, and Foden. What should I do considering heavy rotation risk? You will have to go through it if you have three City players. Unfortunately, maybe make a transfer to strengthen your bench, but you can't really do anything else. I think at least Foden will get 1 point, but the two I can't be sure of. The two. Gallagher sell or play. If you can sell him, I would sell him personally. If you don't have a transfer plan or strategy in place, I think hold and sell him next week. Not a bad option. Luis Diaz and Jota or Trent and Jota. Trent and Jota without a doubt. Luis Diaz won't start with Mane back. I don't see him starting game in and out. I think he'll be rested more often. Digne, Buemo, Bernardo, Livramento bench. I think it's a decent bench. If I had to bench one of them, I would bench Buemo and that's it. Replace Gallagher or Moura, and for whom? Gallagher for sure. Looks like for Coutinho, Bowen, you can look at a long list of players there. Saka next week. So you can hold, for everyone who has Gallagher, even me, you can hold Gallagher for this week, play him through the Brentford fixture, and the next week try to get in someone like a Saka. I think Arsenal's attack next week makes it worth it. Moura is also an option you can get if you don't want Saka. Oli says again an option next weekend. Tony start or not? Hasn't been confirmation of if he's fit enough to play. He's in contention, but I think it's very it's like a 50-50 call, so I can't be very sure if he starts or not. Personally, I feel it's slightly unlikely. First captain preference, I think it's either Bruno or Ronaldo, whoever you have. If I had both, I'd slightly sway towards Ronaldo, but either of them. Don't go beyond them to and overcomplicate it this week, I think. I have Ronaldo and KVD. Is Bruno a must? No, it's not a must. I think you can hold De Bruyne. Maybe you can look for Salah. I think that is an option if you don't want to. I think De Bruyne is genuine risk. If you don't want to, you can hold De Bruyne and it's fine, and captain Ronaldo. Is Trossard a good option? Bowen and Trossard are my other choices. I'm not sure if what Karan Bora meant, but I think Trossard is slightly in a void. I'm not sure if he starts both the games. I considered him for Gallagher, but my only problem with Trossard is he's not great on stats. The second problem I have with him is that Potter usually rotates his forwards a lot. He will bench Mope, Trossard, Welbeck out of nowhere for no specific reason, just out of tactics and rotation. So you can't be sure if he starts the next two games even after such a long rest. So I would just probably avoid it. Also, it becomes a burden in the coming weeks. I have Cristiano Ronaldo and Bruno. Should I sell either for Salah? I think just hold both of them this week and then get Salah next week and Kane if possible. So you can do a Ronaldo to Kane, Bruno to Salah, and if you need funds, downgrade someone, and that would be a perfect move for you. That was for Mark in the super chat, who sent in the super chat. Start two out of Ramsey, Olise, Watkins, and Cancelo. I would start Ramsey and Cancelo, and I would keep Olise as my first bench. I think I have not seen a lot of Man City defenders come on as substitute. So if your Man City defender is not starting, it's most likely your sub will come into play. Yup, we have 86 people watching. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. Dallo or Shaw, I would still go to Dallo. I think he has a more chance of playing both the games than Shaw. David bench, backman, James, Trent, Cancelo, Reguilon, Dallo, Ramsey, Jota, Kevin De Bruyne, Foden, Bowen, King, Broha, Edward. I really want to keep De Bruyne. I think you should definitely go De Bruyne to Bruno, and you should captain Bruno. I don't think you should take a chance of not having Bruno this week. Captain Bruno, Ronaldo. If you had both, I would personally recommend go Ronaldo. The stats highly favor Bruno. I think the points, odds, and everything favor Bruno. And he's a safer pick. He'll be highly owned, but I think Ronaldo this could be the week where he grabs some points. A good vice captain, anyone from Liverpool, to be honest. Foden out for Salah, Gray out for Ramsey, Ronaldo out for DCL. These are good moves or not? Do you have any other recommendations? For this week, I don't think these are good moves. I would avoid this week and I would keep Ronaldo. Lamptey, is he playing? The problem with Lamptey is nobody knows if he starts 2 games. Previously, he was nailed. Now he's not. There's a lot of rotation again at Brighton's right back position as well somehow. Weltman, Border, March. I think there is March also played on right back time ago. Even Gross plays right wing back. So there's a lot of rotation in that spot, and Lamptey isn't nailed. So there's nothing that suggests that Lamptey is nailed. Thanks for your help. I am still ranked second in your league for many weeks now. Arsenal or Burnley defender. This is for next week. For the bench this week, I have 2 transfers and need to burn one. I think I would keep in the Burnley defender. It allows me to have at least 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 points, which is 8 in 2 weeks, which is decent enough to be honest. And if they keep a clean sheet, that's a bonus. So I would just keep a Burnley defender. Keep him on the bench this week, and this goes for Varun as well. I think you should still stick to a Burnley. And I've been reading the Burnley forums a lot. So apparently Roberts is nailed on for a while, and Sean Dyche doesn't really plan to rotate him often. And the injury on that spot is also not the injured player in the spot. I think which is Taylor hasn't even recovered yet. So for someone who wants such a player, I think Roberts can suit you and can work out really well. Play one from Duffy or Williams and from Antonio or Dennis. I would play Antonio and Duffy. I don't think Duffy will start though. That could be a risk. Kane to Broha and Gallagher to Salah. Good moves. I think they're pushed moves. I don't think they're necessary moves this week. So maybe you can avoid. It's not like Salah versus Burnley is a must-have situation this time. I think Kane and Gallagher can cover up for him. It's totally your call. These are decent moves, but it looks like rush to me. With a -4, Digne, Reguilon, Laporte, Cancelo, Trent, Saka, Bowen, Jota, Bruno, Foden, Edouard, and Dennis Antonio. Deep, it sounds like a decent team. I don't think you need to do anything about it. Start Dennis or Calvert-Lewin or Edouard. Calvert-Lewin, in my opinion. Rafinha for Madison, worth it. I don't think so. West Ham are equally bad defensively, so you might just want to hold Madison. Start Edouard or Cucurella. Start the player who has a double game week, Cucurella, and he's high on bonus points. So if they keep a clean sheet in any of the games, which is the Watford game, he is very likely to get a bonus point. Mope for Gallagher, I wouldn't do it. Mope, even in the Brighton list of XG, he's somewhere 8th or 9th in the list from just Brighton players. So you know that he's not very high on XGI. He's mainly relying on penalties. I don't know if you should go for Mope. He becomes a liability very soon. If you're planning to wildcard in 28, maybe you can take a punt, but it's not a transfer I would recommend. When should we make transfers, right now or wait for moments? You probably want to make it right now if you're making there won't be any news of anyone getting benched, I think. That's fine. Can I go for budget forwards, Broha, Dennis, Edouard, and spread the funds in mids and premium defenders? That is the ideal strategy, and you should be doing that. Should I keep Bernardo Silva or sell if suggest replacement points in the mind? This week probably hold, and next week sell for Salah or a Son. I think this week there isn't a rush to sell him. He plays Norwich, which is fine, which is always very fine. And he's one of the players who would be starting. Lamptey, Dennis, Walker, one to start, I think Walker. Punt, triple captaincy, Arsenal or Bruno. If I had to, the one who's on penalties, which is most likely Cristiano Ronaldo. Bruno could be on penalties, but you know that it's very likely Ronaldo takes it again. Should I remove Sterling, Gundogan and CR7, get in Salah, Bruno and any striker? You can, but there's a very likely chance Sterling, Gundogan both starts against Norwich, so that's something you want to take a call on. If it's just to get in Salah, probably avoid. Foden to Rafinha, I wouldn't do it this week again, specifically solely because I don't know. If Rafinha is going to be a transfer next week as well, then maybe you want to just prepone and do it this week. Otherwise, don't. Ramsey for Gray, please let me know. I wouldn't do Ramsey. I would actually do Ramsey for Gray. Sorry, not Ramsey to Gray, but Gray to Ramsey. I would do it. Play one from Dallo, Bowen, and Edouard. Bowen, Dennis or Reguilon or Edouard, please help. I would play Reguilon. I wouldn't play the other two. Man U or Brighton defenders. I would stick to the Manchester United defenders. They're better odds of keeping clean sheets. If you want to have a player who's better, if you want to have a player in 27, 28 as well, then the Brighton defenders come into much more play, whereas the United defenders as well. Reguilon to a Villa defender, I don't think that's necessary. Reguilon has been clocking big chances. Even last week he had 2 big chance involvements. I think you want to hold him. Gallagher to Rafinha, that's a move that I would do. Keep supporting and please like, share and subscribe. Yes, Harshil, thank you for that. Who are the nailed-on Brighton defenders? I think Webster, Veltman, Cucurella are the three most nailed-on Brighton defenders, and Dunk obviously. Broha for Antonio. I wouldn't sell Antonio this week. Leicester have conceded 21 big chances in the 23 big chances in the last 4 games. They've conceded the most headed attempts in the last 4 games. They have the worst XG conceded in the last 4 games. I think this is probably a game tailored well for Antonio, and if he's slightly good and takes some chances, I think he can score in this one. So this is not the game I would sell Antonio in. Kevin De Bruyne to Son not this week in my opinion. I don't think it's necessary. Bulls are decent. 4-4-2 of David De Gea and Duffy, Rafinha, Bruno Gallagher, CR7, Antonio. How about this 11 or change anything you suggest? Park Panur, I think it's a decent 4-4-2. The only problem is with Duffy. I don't know if Duffy starts. Nishad has been sending some chat. Should I get Bruno for Foden? If I want to get Salah next week, 4.5 million in the bank. I think you should still get Bruno this week. If you don't have Ronaldo, especially go for Bruno. If you have Ronaldo, then you don't necessarily have to make the Bruno move. Start Ben Foster or Fraser Foster. I think Ben Foster. No, Fraser has a double. Fraser doesn't have a double. Yeah, Ben Foster. Probably have Ben Foster there. Krishna, we will come back to your question at the end of the stream. Don't worry. I have both Walker and Laporte. You should start both of them if you have both of them. And should I sell Foden to Bruno? If you don't have Ronaldo, definitely. Should I downgrade Ronaldo to a Weghorst and get in Bruno for an ESR for a -4, or should I downgrade DCL to Weghorst and get in Bruno for a Foden or Jota? I don't think if you have Ronaldo, you don't necessarily have to double. If you want to double up in this situation, I would hold Ronaldo and double up. I wouldn't make the Ronaldo to a Bruno sideways move. I wouldn't do that. Another super chat from Mark. Sell Madison for Ramsey / Coutinho or save the transfer. I would save the transfer. I think West Ham are equally bad as a team in terms of defense, so you can just stick to that. Play Lanzini or Dennis? Dennis, in my opinion. Abhishek Singh has sent in a super chat saying David De Gea, Cancelo, Trent, Cucurella, De Bruyne, Bowen, Jota, Bruno, Ramsey, King, Dennis, Watkins, Reguilon, Alonso. Transfer sessions play the 11. I think you have a decent 11. You can start with David De Gea, Cancelo, Trent, Cucurella. That's your back 3. De Bruyne, Bowen, Jota, Bruno. That's your mid 4. Ramsey, that becomes 5. I would slightly play Dennis because of the counter-attacking and Watkins. You can bench Reguilon, Alonso, and you can save the transfer later here. You don't have to make a rush transfer over here. Next week in your transfer would be Alonso to a Arsenal defender if you don't have Ramsdale, and will allow you decent amount of funds as well. Especially Tierney, White, all of them cheaper than Alonso. Karthik has sent in a super chat as well. Buy Ulis for Gray this week or save the transfer to get Salah and Arsenal assets next week. If you have a bench and you can bench Gray and you can even accommodate the City rotation, I think you don't have to buy Ulis this week. If that's the situation, if you don't have a bench and if let's say your City attackers do not play and you don't have sufficient bench, then you might want to make the move this week. Sell Antonio, keep this week, keep, I think. I've said it before. Pogba is a decent differential. I think the differential to get is Rashford. He will get ample of space and runs to make behind. Both of the teams like to press up high. I think there's going to be counter-attacking football from United. I think Rashford will really thrive this week. Dennis or King, I think Dennis because of the fast counter-attacking. And that's the thing with Brighton. If you get a counter-attacking player, you want him. Will DCL start? I think he does start. He's fit and fine. He would have come on if there are substitutions left for Everton, so I think he should be starting. I already have Ronaldo and Jota, but to bring in Bruno, I have to take a -4, but we'll be bringing in Ramsey 2 that way. You can take in Bruno, but don't remove players like Jota or someone like Ronaldo to get in Bruno. I think you can hold him, especially Jota. You want him for the double game week. Start 2 out of Dawson, Livramento and Sissoko. I think Dawson and Livramento. Transfer priority, Broha for this week or Weghorst for next double game weeks. I think Weghorst for the next two double game weeks is much more important. Confused to do Martin to Olis or Alonso to Tarkowski or save. I think Varun, with your team, I think it's more necessary to make an Alonso to a Burnley defender move. I think it gives you the depth you want and sets your team better. Otherwise, you can save. You can always save. Kaushik has sent in a super chat saying, I have Kevin De Bruyne and Bruno. Who should I go? KDB or Bruno to Salah, or I can also go Moura to Jota. I have DCL, ASM, Dennis as forward. Should I go for a forward instead of a mid? I think you can go Kevin De Bruyne to a Salah. If you want to take a punt, you can do Kevin De Bruyne to Rashford. If you're well set up and have enough free transfers, are okay to take a -4 next week. I think getting in Rashford this week could really serve you well. Rashford or Sancho? Rashford, hands down Rashford. Is it worth replacing DCL with Burgast and get in Bruno in place of Foden because of double fixtures, or should I hold on to the Foden move? I have Ronaldo already. You can hold on if you're getting in Burgast anyways next week. Then I think there is upside to get in Bruno this week. If Burgast is not in your plans in Gameweek 26 or 27, then I don't think you should make the move. Will Shaw play? There's Tellis I think should be back by this game. I haven't read of him 100% playing, so I'm not really sure on this. But as far as I've read, the Tellis is back, I think. Is this your final team? Yes, this is my final team. I'm not making any changes. I am slightly in doubt of putting in King instead of Gallagher, but I think I'll go with the midfielder of getting an extra point. Is Jota a better option than Robertson next week? Yes, slightly. Not the only problem with Robertson is that it is very likely that Simicast plays in place of Robertson before the UCL game, which is very likely because the UCL game is something that Liverpool will prioritize, and Simicast against the Norwich side wouldn't be a problem or shouldn't be a problem. Which Man United defender to buy? I think you don't really need to invest in Manchester United defenders. If you had to buy, maybe a Brighton defender, but I don't think the Manchester United defenders are worth it. Even with the greater odds, I don't think they're worth it. Gray replacement around 8 million. I think staying cheap with Olise or Ramsey is the better option. -4 Foden to Rashi. -4 is a lot for Foden to Rashford. You can go for it if it suits your plan, but up to you. Hold Kevin De Bruyne, buy Bruno or go to Salah. Definitely buy Bruno. If you have Ronaldo, then maybe you can look at Salah as well, but that is your answer. If you're not taking a -4 next week and you can go Kevin De Bruyne to Bruno this week and then Bruno or Salah next week as well, I think you should go for the upside chase of first attacking this double game week and then attacking the next one when it comes to you. Best forward under 9 million. At the moment, there is genuinely no best forwards. You can stick to the ones probably Burgos, Edward, the cheaper ones, Broha, but there aren't any standout performing forwards. It's only Kane who really is doing decent. DCL expected to start is what I can say. Anuj has sent in a super chat saying Tavernier, Trent, Laporte, Cancelo, Region, Bowen, Jota, Foden, Coutinho, Gallagher, Ronaldo. No bench, have 2 free transfers. You might want to take a transfer. You might want to strengthen your bench, get in probably a Burnley asset if you want to, depending on your strategy. But I think you might want to deepen your bench a bit. But this is your 11, I think. I think if you have King, that's fine. Then you have one bench, and I think you'll need one more. So it's fine. You can probably even play with 10 if it suits your strategy more. I don't think you will. I mean, you will have at least 10 players in my opinion in this game, even if you don't make a transfer right now. Gallagher, sell or hold, replacement 3 long-term strikers. Gallagher probably hold this week, sell next week. I think it's a better sell next week where you can buy Saka, who has a good double. And long-term strikers, no striker, the top 3 selected strikers haven't scored a goal since the first day of 2022. So you can really understand that they haven't. No striker is really performing. Probably stick to the cheaper ones, Edward, Burgast, Broha. If you have King or Dennis, stick to them. You can go to someone like a DCL. But the only striker you want is probably Kane and Burgast at this moment. I don't think there are better strikers in the game. Even Burgast isn't a standout striker, but he'll at least get you 2 points. At least get you 4 points in the next 2 games, which is fine. So that's a minimum baseline for him. How to deal with the Arsenal players these next few weeks? You have to have a chip strategy around them, or you need to bench them. That's the only. Probably don't triple up, and if you're tripling up on them and Liverpool, you need to play a free hit in 27. Will Jota start both double game weeks next week? He'll start one. I think he'll get an average of 100 minutes out there, which is great. I think by his standards, if he plays 100 minutes, that's fine. Lamptey, Dennis, Walker start one. Walker. Will Jota start both double games? As I said, I think he's expected to get 100 minutes, which is fine. Transfer out Foden or Gallagher. If I had to, none of them. Foden maybe because of the rotation, and next week again he has a tough fixture. Gallagher, the only thing with me of not like advising you to save the transfer is that next week you can buy the Arsenal midfielders. This week you can't. So you'll be in a better situation next week in terms of buying better players. This week you'll be forced to buy a Coutinho or a Ramsey who don't have a double in the recent future. Arsenal will have a double in 26 and 28, most probably either 28 or 29, and have a fixture in 30. So I think holding on this move and buying someone like a Saka or Odegaard next week does much better and way better. Is a way better transfer. Another super chat from Ispit, David Foster, Trent, Davis, Digne, King, Cancelo, Bruno, Foden, Jota, Bowen, Gallagher, Watkins, Antonio, King. King is twice. What moves, captain options? Use one of the free transfers, I think, and that should be it. I don't necessarily see Gallagher, Foden, Jota, Bowen. Everything seems fine, so you can probably just burn one transfers in the future for your future moves and hold the other transfer. Don't see a necessary move over here. And your 11 is fine. Bruno is your captain, so that's obvious there. You can do Gallagher to Ulis if you want to burn a transfer as well. Watkins to DCL is a transfer burn you might want to do, but the rest is fine. I wouldn't sell King or Antonio. King to Broha is also a transfer you might want to do if you're okay with him not playing him in the double game week, which is something you can do. Captain Bruno or CR7. Jota is vice captain. Jota is vice captain, yes. If you want to go on stats, Bruno is the guy. Otherwise, you can probably look at CR7 as well. Rashford, great differential captain. If you have Rashford, just hold. Differential captain could be very, very risky. I'm not sure if he is a great differential captain. Foden to De Bruyne or Bruno this week. Play Edward or Dallo. Play Dallo, I think he could start both the games. Start King or Kufal. I would start King. I'm not sure on the Kufal. Just join the stream. What are the must this game week? There are no must this game week. You need to have a Ronaldo or a Bruno. I think that's must and captain then. Can you tell early if Ronaldo starts? As far as I've read, Ronaldo does start, but up to you. Bruno triple captain, avoid this week. There isn't confirmed news, but there's chat around that Ronaldo will be starting tonight. Guys, 5 minutes left. Make sure you set your team. Don't wait till the last minutes. Bruno to Foden or De Bruyne. None of them. I think hold Bruno this week. Choose one. Sell Rafinha for Ramsey/Coutinho. Sell Dennis/King for Weghorst. I think Dennis/King to Weghorst is the move I would make. If you can roll, preferably roll and do the move next week. Free chip strategy for those who have both the chips available. Use one in 27 and use the other one in 30. If you don't need a free hit in 27, use one in 30, use the other one in 33. That's the chip strategy there. Jota to Salah necessary. To Salah, I would avoid. I would want Jota and Salah both for the 26 double. Do you recommend Bruno triple captain? No, I don't. Unfortunately, play Dawson or Antonio. I know that Dawson can damage in terms of headed attempts. He's higher than Antonio, but again, Antonio has the pedigree and Leicester can concede to any team at the moment. I am going for Cristiano Ronaldo as triple captain with Bruno vice captain. Wish me luck. I think it can serve well, and I've said it again. I think Ronaldo outscores Bruno this week. Just something personally, not on stats, just personal gut feeling like we do usually, and can happen. But if I had to still captain someone safe, it's Bruno Fernandes. Webster or Weltman, please help. I would stick to Weltman. I think he's cheaper and he's a better option to hold, and he's more likely to start in Premier games. Foden/Coutinho. I think Coutinho going ahead, and then you can get in Mahrez soon. Play Watkins or Reguilon. I think you play Watkins, take a chance on them. Gallagher to Kevin De Bruyne or Salah. Definitely Salah. There's no doubt. Best game week for bench boost, 26 or 36. I think 36 is the better game than 26. But if you have a team set up for 26, you can bench boost there. But I think 36 is the ideal game week for bench boost. Martinelli to Ramsey or save a transfer for next week and go for Salah and Bruno instead of CR7, Sterling and Gundogan. I think next week you can go to Salah. If you can get Bruno this week, prioritize that. Otherwise, Martinelli to Ramsey is a genuinely good move. I think Ramsey this week can also blast. Bruno to for Foden or De Bruyne. I think Bruno for De Bruyne. I think Foden has a higher chance of starting in the game. Bruno, will Edward play? There's no guarantee of him playing, to be honest. Sanchez or Martinez? Sanchez this week. Will Lamptey start both the games? No, he won't. I think he'll start one. The other one is a doubt. Is a genuine doubt. Alonso to Romero, Webster, Dallo, which one? And Sterling to Fernandes or just Kane to Ronaldo? I think Sterling to Fernandes and Alonso to a Romero. I think that's the better transfer. I think he has a good game, decent game this week and a double next week, so that's fine. Play Watkins or Edward. Watkins in my opinion. Rudiger replacement. You can hold Rudiger if you held him so long. You can go for an Arsenal defender next week. This week, likely, if you don't have a Laporte, you can go there, but there's a rotation risk. So if you have absolutely no one, probably just go Cucurella. I think that's a decent transfer this week. But next week, if you can hold on, I think White or someone like a Tierney is a better move. Dini is also a move you want to consider, to be honest. Gilmore and then Livramento, Ben Shorter or the other way. I think Livramento and then Gilmore. By Heung-min Son, he's on fire. Yes, I think he's a good transfer in next week. Which game week to play wildcard next? Game week, I think game week 28 suits perfect for wildcard. Davide as a differential captain, I don't see United keeping more than one clean sheet. It's totally up to you. United can genuinely leak one goal and that ruins your captaincy. I wouldn't go there. Sanchez punt is a decent punt. I don't think it's a punt, to be honest. Early team news, no, there is no early team news. Unfortunately, I still check on early team news, but as far as I know, there's no early team news. ASM Dennis Duffy play 3. I think ASM Dennis and Antonio. I'm not sure if Duffy's even going to start. Bench Moura or Dennis? I would bench Dennis. Will Ronaldo start? Everyone expects Ronaldo to start, so that's no problem. I think we have no early team news, so that is there. There's absolutely no early team news. Will Edwards start? That's a doubt. I don't have budget for Bruno or Ronaldo. Who are the options from Man U? I think only Rashford. Will DCL start? Yes, we expect DCL to start. Start Foster or Fabianski? I think start Foster. He has a better chance at a clean sheet and he'll make a lot more saves. That is what I think personally. DCL to start? Yes, again, as I said, DCL is expected to start. And I will just take a look at my team as well before it is deadline. And my team is David, Alexander, Arnold, Cash, Laporte, Bowen, Fernandes captain, Jota vice captain, Foden, Gallagher, Antonio Watkins, and King on the first on the bench. I think it's about time. There's 20 or 30 odd seconds left before its deadline. And yeah, Kevin De Bruyne to Bruno locked in. Definitely do it, Captain Bruno. I think that's the move to do. Ronaldo or DCL to Burgos next week. I think Ronaldo out. I don't think there's a point holding him. There's a lot more funds you can do. Ronaldo to Kane if you don't need funds. Guetta or Raya start. I think Raya. I would start Raya. When to get in Coutinho? Whenever you can. So there's no perfect time, but I think 27-28 will give you a good opportunity because he'll have an easier double there. Anyways, it is deadline. And hopefully you guys have set your teams and have a good game week. Ronaldo out. I don't think he's worth the money. He has a double. He can score a penalty. I still feel that he'll outscore Bruno only because of the penalties. If he doesn't get the penalties, Bruno will hands down outscore him. I think it's because of the penalties that he'll outscore anyone. I don't think Ronaldo at all justifies the 12 million price. Ramsey or Coutinho? Coutinho is better. I think he's more nailed on as well. Ramsey offers good value for his price, but I think if you want to have a player from now till the end who will provide you consistent points, I think Coutinho is the guy. Keep him and remove him next week. Yeah, that's the point. You remove him next week. You starting King next week game week. It depends on what transfers do I make. So there could be an interesting -8 where I don't even start King at all and I take a chance on Watkins over Kings. So let's see. Yes, hopefully Ronaldo out, and that's my prediction as well, that Ronaldo outscores Bruno, but let's see. And I think it's because of the penalties, I feel. So if he doesn't get the penalty, I don't think Ronaldo outscores Bruno. Start Buemo or Aaron Ramsey. I would have done that. Edward starts. That's odd because is he playing at 6 p.m? I thought the fixture was at 8:30. Yeah, the fixture is at 8:30. Okay, Edward starts. That's great news for Edward owners. FPL Focal has been really good with that. Best of luck, everyone. Thanks for the stream. Thanks, Karsh. Also, we've also started putting odds in there. So you do check out the odds at FPL tips __ the Instagram handle we have. We started putting clean sheet and goal scoring odds for teams and fixtures in the game week. If you have doubts in terms of who to pick as a defender, you can really refer those odds and go by it. Ronaldo, Bruno, Foden out. Kevin De Bruyne, Salah, and cheap striker in. I don't think Kevin De Bruyne. I would rather go with Kane, Salah, and someone in midfield, or maybe Son, Salah, and someone in strike. I'm having a really bad game week. Yes, Baba Tunde. Unfortunately, you still have a bad game week. Buemo starting up front. Yes, I think he will. I don't think there is any doubt he won't. He usually, if he starts up front. Okay, so I haven't seen the Edward news yet, but I think if Varun is saying it is pretty much true. Okay, so on that note, we'll wrap it up. I don't think there's any more news to cover up. I hope I had Ronaldo this week, but unfortunately not. I capped Rashford. Hope it works out. Hopefully it does. Rashford on the counter attack can be very explosive this week. Anyways, we'll wrap it up here. Krishna Arora, sorry, forgot to answer your questions. There's nothing I can help you with a bad game week. Anyways, please hit the like button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It really helps us grow and you will get notification when we go on lives. We might be getting back to FIFA streams as well eventually. So yes, please do that. What if I can't afford Salah at 13 million next game? I don't think he'll rise again. He just rose twice in 2-3 days this week, and which is bizarre because there weren't a lot of transfers. There were actually more volume transfers in the game week, previous game weeks as well. So really some flaw with the algorithm in terms of Salah rising. Totally love it, Krishna. But I think hopefully we will be able to afford Salah, and I don't expect him to rise next week. And if you can't afford him, probably take a -4 downgrade somewhere else. But I don't think you should compromise on not having Salah. So you can compromise somewhere else, but you still want to own Salah. You can't figure him out. On that note, we wrap it up. Thank you guys for joining the stream. This was a great stream. This is FP Tip signing off. Cheers.